The Lixari delegation convened in the Zero-G Council Chamber, a mile above the steel core of their orbital capital. Alara Vashti, the youngest envoy ever granted full privileges, stood bathed in cold blue lighting. At 50 parsecs across, outside observers saw only their fine silks, graceful postures, and elegant claws, but inside, Luxari politics was ruthless. Every delegation arrived with hidden agendas. Every sentence in this chamber tested wills. "So," began Ambassador Keller, voice smooth as cooled plasma, "you claim your species, humans, intend to expand into our sector. Such ambition demands evidence of your capacity to contribute." He clicked his finger, and a hollow screen flickered to life surface to orbit. "What do humans bring that is not already here?" Alara's stomach fluttered. Earth could not stand on the same shoulders. As collective Luxari achievements, nano-fabrication, quantum forging, sublight propulsion were their birthright. But humanity had fire. She stepped forward, voice clear. "Ask any Luxari engineer. They've invented tools, but we invented the will to use them, even under burning skies." Murmurs. Keller dismissed it. "Poetic, but we need proof." Alara paused. She tapped her cum. A faint light pulsed elsewhere. 21 groups in orbit ready. Transfer cum open. 4 Luxari council seats narrowed their gaze. Another tapped. A screen popped up behind them, showing the orbit of Luna, Earth's moon, where 21 human mining ships rotated like a dented but beating heart. "The question," Alara continued softly, "is not what we bring to the galaxy. It is what the galaxy brings to us when we are the only species who answers the call." The silence that followed grew dense. Keller cocked his head. "Answer a call? What call?" Then the signal came, low and unnerving, carrying a rhythm of distress. Not a human transmission, but one from a mining platform at the edge of the system. "We have a containment breach." A Luxari engineer flinched. Mining platforms weren't built for catastrophe. Ilara's lips curled upward as she watched 400 Luxari engineers snap into hololink, their credentials worthless in real time. "Humans," she gestured outside window. She tapped her pad. A moment later, 21 bulky tugs detached. Sails unfurled, and they surged toward Luna. Keller's voice dropped. "They're closing. At what speed?" "Too fast to match," came a human calm reply. "They'll be on scene in under 12 hours. Luxari exchanged glances. 12 hours. That was days faster than their rescue response, even with hyperdrives. Alara smiled as her message came back. The miners had sealed the breach using nothing more than EVA suits and improvised steel panels, but what truly mattered? They had radioed back, alive. No Luxari elite could cage that moment. In one instant, Luxari privilege collided with human resolve. And for the first time, the Council realized, when things burn, humans are the ones who run in. By the time the ships returned, orbit above Luna had transformed. What began as a standard mining facility now resembled a battle-scarred fortress. Radiation alarms blared red flashes across consoles. An exotic crystal deposit, turned volatile, threatened to vaporize everyone nearby. Human engineers boarded silently. They hadn't come for speeches or uniforms. Their suits were worn, their hands stained from weld flash and grit. Yet they moved with purpose. Luxari observers were ushered aside. Commands from Earth didn't await Luxari approval. They came from miners themselves. Shift to code H42 secondary vent open. For hours the human crew worked. One by one, they sealed leaks, reinforced structural dams, fitted emergency bypasses, again and again, improvising. They looked to no one for permission. They didn't hesitate to dot the centerpiece, a massive containment sphere venting slower than designed, filling the bay with pink crystalline vapor. A Luxari scientist gasped as she realized the core would implode, crushing the bay like a vice. Human foreman Jackson Halley barked order. We go in. Fix or die. Move. In 3-minute intervals, 2-person teams went inside the chamber without external tether. Luxari alarms went nuts. They tried to remind Halley of protocols. Halley barked back. We're fixing the leak. Protocol is dead. Save lives. They pumped emergency coolant lines. They welded patch plates. They rerouted vent lines through welding torches held by hand. They throttled oxygen reserves. They stood inside the heart of the crisis and stabilized the reactor core. When the chamber doors opened, each surviving pair emerged pale, panting, their heat immunity systems fried. They looked like war-hardened mythic heroes. Luxari engineers stared in awed silence. When Halley finally walked out, helmet off, blood trickling from a gash, he looked upward. What next, Ambassador? Not questions about speed, not about methods. Just calm capacity.elara stepped forward while Luxari science bent to study cooling logs. That is human will. We don't wait for perfection. We make perfection work in imperfect circumstances. That is what it means to be human. Keller inhaled. Slow. This is unprecedented. Yes, Ilara replied softly. Humans enter burning rooms because other species rouse at noises, pick locks in daylight, wrestle leaks in steaming hazards. We don't calculate risk, we meet it. Luxari delegation looked from battered humans to still spitting vents. Humanity had shown its heart. No words can match witnessing it. Kelir finally nodded. Your species will have an observer seat at the council for now. Ilara's heart raced. She sank into her seat while humans wrapped around engineers, breathing and rallying. They'd done more than save a facility. They'd shattered assumptions. Within a standard solar cycle, Earth's voice carried through council corridors. We accept the observer's seat, but we bring ourselves, not empty forms. The Luxari Council debated. Would allowance invite danger? Reciprocity? They sent a question to orbit. Humanity responded with a live stream of a school in downtown Denver. Children demonstrating a robotic kit, launching model rockets, raising a global mosaic of flags. No tricks, no military flair, just ordinary, chaotic, fierce wonder. Council. Watchers recognized it. Where Luxari children studied centuries of galactic history, humans were inventing tools before their teens. Luxari sent researchers. They built pilot exchanges. Then came the revolution. A standard malfunction aboard a research lab orbiting Beta Centauri. A radiation leak threatened a colony nearby. Luxari attempted rescue, but hours of prep stalled them. Then, over radio, "We're on our way," said human-led rescue team. "Give us coordinates." And again, within 12 hours, breathing masks and toolkits re-entered the chamber. By nightfall, the leak was sealed. New safety measures were installed, and every human miner and rescue pilot stood in a line, waiting to hear the luxury heroics showcased. But this time, it was a crowd of luxury gathered silent, entranced, and slowly cheering. Spontaneously. They came forward, one ambassador at a time, pressing hands to human shoulders. Tears shone in Valoran eyes. "Your species deserves more than observation," said the elder beside Ambassador Keller. The council voted. Humans earned full membership, not for their speed or firepower, but for their spirit. Luxari architects marveled at human improvisations. Luxari scientists studied human morale. Humans taught them that a protocol is a guide, not a rule. A facility is a promise, not a guarantee. And a threat is glass shatterproof for some, breakable by fear for others. No species had demonstrated that combination before. The galaxy had grown. Human tenacity became its engine. 2 cycles later, the council's chambers reflected a more radical human presence. A matter processor powered by student-designed fusion tech on desk beside Ambassador Vashti. Holograms. Showing human festivals, holidays of memory and emotion, the first invited real cultural share. A central blow. A new program, a joint human Luxari rescue corps funded across empires, stationed on wounded frontiers. Keller turned to Ilara. "You've changed more than policy. You've changed us." She remembered decks above Luna, the raw fury of the breach, the cold hands of rescuers against pink vapor. Humanity had burned and refused to stop. That flame struck deep in Luxari hearts. Ilara smiled. "We didn't ask to be heroes. We just can't help running toward fire." Keller nodded. "But fires in the galaxy are many. We learn to extinguish them together." A final beep, a ping. A flash of new emergency flooding, and across dozens of relief missions, across settled. Systems.elar, A tapped. Human logos filled every relief fleet. Her voice nearly shook as she spoke for 2 species across the table. "Let's go." And they did. Not as saviors nor lords of any sector, but as partners. As humanity and Luxari stood together on that launch pad, engines roaring, something fundamental warmed in every watching eye. The galaxy had found its will again, for in human spirit it saw its mirror. In its willingness to run into fire, the galaxy believed again in itself, finding an ember that finally ignited the fires of unity and courage across the stars.